Imagine a city where a train passes right through a residential building, where roads twist and turn 50 meters above the ground, and escalators have become a regular form of public transportation, where you can enter a building on the first floor and exit on the 20th, because the city is built on mountains, and the usual logic of life just doesn't apply. Welcome to Chongqing, the most surreal metropolis on the planet. How do you get to Chongqing? You can fly to Chongqing or take a high-speed train from another city. Chongqing has an airport that's about a half-hour drive from the city center. Trip.com is a convenient platform for booking airline tickets. They regularly offer great deals here. When you buy a ticket through Trip.com, you can add lounge access for $25, or even get it for free, even though it usually costs $60 per person. The second option is if you arrive in Chongqing by high-speed train from other cities in China, you can also buy train tickets on Trip.com. The train ride from Chengdu takes about an hour, and from Beijing, 7 hours. The train station is connected to the subway, so you can easily get to your hotel. It's also very easy to get from the airport to the city. The first way is by subway. The subway is connected to the airport. You can pay for the subway with Alipay or cash. The second, more comfortable option is to book a transfer. I use this trick all over China. On the Trip.com website, there's an option to order a transfer. After payment, you'll be able to contact the driver, and the driver will be waiting for you with a sign and help you with your luggage. So, you've arrived at Chongqing Airport. Every tourist needs to solve 2 tasks. The first is internet access. You can get internet by buying a SIM card for $30 at the airport. But it's definitely more cost-effective to get an eSIM. That will cost about $15, and you don't have to take the SIM card out of your phone. You can exchange currency right at the airport. You can exchange dollars, euros, or the currency of nearby Asian countries. You should also make sure to download these apps before your trip: Alipay for payments, WeChat for communication, and Baidu Maps or Amap for navigation. Where should you stay in Chongqing? Chongqing has many districts, and each one is interesting in its own way. Let me tell you about the most popular ones. Jiangbei CBD District. Here, you'll be surrounded by skyscrapers. This is where the Hongya Cave is located. In this district, I recommend this hotel. A night at this hotel costs only $30. It's a relatively small but new room with everything you need, newly renovated, and with a view of the pedestrian street. You can book it on Trip. The second option is the Nannan District. This is a quieter area, still close to the main attractions, but with more local flavor and atmosphere. Here, I recommend a hotel called Or Black. It's an amazing and stylish hotel that feels more like a weekend resort hotel. Here you'll have a huge room with floor-to-ceiling panoramic windows, your own terrace, and from this terrace you get views of Chongqing skyscrapers and the river. The hotel's interior is also very stylish, and I really like the color scheme. It kind of reminds me of a Bali style. The hotel has some really cool details. So, now you already know how to travel around Chongqing and where to stay. Now I'll tell you about the top 5 things you absolutely have to do if you're in Chongqing. First, I recommend taking a private tour of Chongqing's districts, because it's really easy to get lost here, and the residential neighborhoods are built on mountains. Second, go to the Chongqing 1949 Theater. This is a unique theater where the stage rotates 360 degrees. I'll tell you more about this theater later. Take a tour to Wulong Coast. This is a ready-made tour that already has a set itinerary. The organizers have taken care of the transportation. All you have to do is get on the bus. Fourth, take a cable car ride across the Yangtze River and enjoy the views. And fifth, go up to the Chongqing observation decks. And if you're still interested in a ready-made route around Chongqing, this is the one I recommend. Right now, we're in the very heart of Chongqing. In front of us is a typical Chinese pedestrian street, noise, crowds of people, neon shop signs. But we didn't come here for shopping, we came for Chongqing's strangest delicacy, spicy ice cream with chili peppers. Basically, it's regular sweet ice cream, but generously sprinkled with chili on top. The ice cream still tastes sweet, but then you start to feel a slight tingling in your throat. They serve it in 2 forms, the classic cone and as a hot pot. You can only see something like this in Chongqing. And now, the most incredible part. We're heading to that legendary square on the 22nd floor. When you find yourself in this place, it really feels like you're just walking around a regular square at ground level. People are strolling around, shops are open, everything looks completely normal. But as soon as you walk up to the edge and look down, you realize you're actually on the real 22nd floor. We go down through the parking lot and end up at an observation deck. But this isn't your typical observation deck. It's a sky bridge connecting buildings high above the ground. The authorities built it on purpose so people wouldn't have to climb up and down mountain slopes between different parts of the city. That's exactly why Chongqing is called a cyberpunk city. What really amazes you in Chongqing are its residential areas. Imagine Hong Kong with its high-rise buildings, but older, weathered by time, with mold on the walls and bars on the windows. But that's exactly what Chongqing used to look like. We set out to explore a special neighborhood where high-rise buildings are located. And what's most interesting is that there are no elevators here. But here's what's amazing. The exits from these buildings are located every 6 floors. One floor can open directly onto the street. Here, the building and the road are a single structure, and on the first floor, there's already a playground. The locals joke that people in Chongqing are so skinny because they're constantly going up and down stairs. And it's true. This place is a real maze of staircases. The next site is simply mind-blowing. We get on a regular bus at an ordinary stop, but as soon as it starts moving, the magic begins. The bus literally soars through the air at a great height, as if it's flying over the city. Chongqing has learned to live in harmony with its challenging mountainous terrain. After all, the city is built on mountains, and only these kinds of engineering solutions make it possible to cover short distances without hours-long detours. Because of these incredible elevation changes, Chongqing has developed a unique public transportation system. It's a giant escalator. At the entrance, you buy a ticket just like in the subway, and in just 3 minutes you cover a distance that would take you hours to walk up steep stairs. But the most unique sight is the train that passes right through a residential building. It's a true engineering marvel. The train goes straight through the 6th floor of the apartment building. And you know what's the most amazing part? The residents of this building don't hear it at all. We took this magical train right to the very center of the city. This is where the Real beauty begins, with incredible nighttime lighting. The Art Center building was especially impressive. You definitely won't miss it. It's a unique red building. The Art Center looks absolutely unreal, especially when the evening lights come on. From this stunning building, it's an easy walk to the famous Honya Cave. Honya Cave is best visited in the evening, when the lights come on. This place really does look like a set from a Miyazaki anime. We finish our walk on the bridge on the opposite side. From here, you get the best view of all this illuminated beauty, Honya Cave, and the entire sparkling center of Chongqing. The very same cyberpunk city. The next day, you can head to one of the most picturesque areas of the city, the ancient town of Longmenhao. This is a historic district built on a hill, and it's striking for its narrow streets that are so typical of China. Nowadays, this place has become a real magnet for those who want to relax, take a leisurely stroll, and try the local cuisine. I'll show you some of the places that personally caught my eye. Right at the entrance to the old town, there's a small museum. You'd think that with so many ancient artifacts in China, nothing would surprise anyone anymore. But here, it was genuinely interesting to take a look into the past of this place. Admission is free. We're heading up to the very top of the old town, where the amazing Shitty bookstore awaits us. The shop itself is small, but it's incredibly atmospheric. The books are arranged with special care, and the interior is simply mesmerizing. But the Chinese definitely know how to make the most of a great location. This bookstore is also a cozy cafe with an amazing view. Another interesting spot is the chain cafe Post Coffee. So, what's unusual about it? Here, you can buy postcards, and each location has its own unique designs. And the coolest part is, you can send them right from here. I definitely recommend checking out the My World restaurant. It's a European cuisine restaurant. A meat dish will cost you about 70 yuan. But trust me, it's worth it. All the places here have a great view. And when a panorama of Chongqing's skyscrapers and bridge opens up before you, it's simply breathtaking. When the sun starts to set, it's the perfect time to head to the Daijiaxiang district, right by the metro station of the same name. This is another old street with charming shops, cafes, and venues. It's very similar to the one we visited during the day, but it's quite far from the city center. And it's on this street that you'll find the most extraordinary place. It's a theater where the stage rotates a full 360 degrees. It's a theater dedicated to a single performance. And after seeing the show, Chongqing 1949, your idea of what a theater can be will change forever. This enormous theater was built in honor of the anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party. I recommend buying tickets online to avoid waiting in line. The show lasts an hour and 10 minutes and is performed in Chinese, but you can rent a simultaneous translator. You need to leave a deposit, which is returned after the show. During the performance, the stage rotates 360 degrees, and the audience seats turn along with it. You never know what's going to happen next. Cars drive right onto the stage, and ships and boats appear. The roof floats overhead, actors fly through the air and appear in cages. The scenery changes right before your eyes. There are 100 actors on stage at the same time. The show tells the story of the tragic events of 1949 in Chongqing. This was the time of the civil war between the nationalists and the communists. The story centers around a group of revolutionaries who were imprisoned in secret jails, and it shows the lives of people who sacrificed everything for their beliefs. The production is so captivating that you can't take your eyes off it for a single minute. Stunning live music, unique lighting, costumes, the sheer scale, it's all incredible. That's why it's worth coming to Chongqing just for this show. Be sure to get VIP seats so your chair rotates along with the stage. I'll leave a link to where you can buy tickets in the description for this video. Right in the city center, in the semi-basement of an ordinary apartment building, you'll find the most beautiful and stylish tea house hidden away. It's designed in a traditional Chinese style and seems like it was made especially for those looking for beautiful shots. There are outdoor areas and quite a lot of space inside. There's also a second floor and plenty of props for photo shoots. We placed our order. The food here is very beautiful and interesting. This whole table cost us about $15. From there, you can head to the Arhan's Temple. Of all the temples I've seen in China, I can say this is one of the most beautiful. Even though it's located in a huge metropolis, there weren't any crowds here. There are rooms with Buddhist arhats here. These are Buddhist saints. There are a lot of them here. The entrance fee is 20 yuan, and everyone gets a free candle and incense stick. You need to light them and place them in the temple while making a wish. The temple is beautiful with its unique black and gold decor. It looks very luxurious. The second floor is even more interesting. You can go upstairs to it. There are fewer people on the second floor, but that's where you get an even more surreal view. You can easily spend at least 2 hours here. I recommend going up to the cable car that takes you across the Yangtze River to the other side. You can buy a ticket online or on the spot if you have your passport. This is considered one of Chongqing's attractions. A single cabin can hold up to 100 people at once. Of course, everyone wants to get a window seat to enjoy the view of the skyscrapers drifting by. The site is honestly amazing. Cafes are really popular on social media in Chongqing. This cafe is on a hill. This place is located in the city center. It's very easy to get here. You can either walk up from the subway or take a taxi and be here in 10 minutes. There are a lot of cafes here, and they all look pretty much the same, with similar menus and the same views. A tea set costs about 150 yuan for 2 people on average. It includes some basic things, but you can stay here as long as you want. The best time to be here is at sunset, so by 7 p.m. the place is packed. The last place for today is the famous chain tea house. This brand is especially popular here, and inside they sell tea that you can buy as a gift. The packaging is really cute and the aroma is amazing. They also sell tea to go here. I got lemon tea, and they gave me a huge reusable cup that's beautifully designed. The Chinese really know how to sell, even though the price is laughable, just 18 yuan. So that was my short weekend trip to Chongqing. Links to tickets, the names of all the places, and videos with routes in other cities will be in the description.